Yes, that's what that says is right. Pen and a heart. Pen. It's about as much as we put on there. Yeah. Run, pain, run. There you go. Well, lots of good desserts to get into too, but before we do that too, Pen, actually, Hans, you have something to present.
Right, I have to get it first.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was just
Steve,
trying to
why
get
don't you
it.
go and get that? But if anybody, just opportunity to share some memories about Penny. Hans is going to give me the.
Hey, she's still here.
Yeah. That's
That means you have to be here.
That's 2016.
I'm not qualified, but.
But Bill, if you want us to just, any special memories, just fun times, crazy things, good stuff about
I
Penny.
didn't get to spend, I haven't gotten to spend nearly as much time with Penny as I
Haven't
would
had any
like.
fun times with
I'm a tweezer, you know, I can't talk. I haven't gotten to spend as much time with you as I would have liked, because every time I've spent time with you, it's been wonderful. You and Andrew are just the epitome of what can I say? What's the words to say? Courage and goodwill and strength and friendship and support. And somewhere down the line, I plan to come visit you. We plan to come visit you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll hold you to that, Bill.
Now, Penny's got a great sense of humor and play, as you guys all know. I know that so much myself. Anybody, a special memory about this one on the trail?
This is kind of dangerous. I'm not sure about
Yeah,
this.
that's right. See, Steve,
I'm going to say something relevant because the club, as everyone knows who's in the club, maybe that's not everyone here, took over the Stevens Creek 50K this year. I just learned yesterday running with Penny that the 2005 Stevens Creek 50K was her first ultra. And I told her before, I had fond memories of her. I actually remember this. Of her, I passed her, we were running kind of close together, and the last uphill, which is by the windmill around mile 25, 26, I passed her because she was walking uphill, and I got her. But she
It's a man thing.
it's a man. No, I didn't really think that. But anyway, she ended up beating me by 2 minutes, which was the closest I've ever been to her in a race. Ever since. Penny won didn't win, came in second twice in that race in 2008 and 2009, and one of those years she did what she did for another 6 or 7 years, I think, which was the day before the race, she did 20 miles marking the course with her friends Maritza and Zuli. So that was a very impressive indeed performance, coming in second. So to the extent that a certain degree of the success of the Stevens Creek 50K, we owe to Penny. So we thank her.
That was my first ultra, and it was Tom Kaisersad who introduced me and got me hooked. And I probably would have beaten you by a lot more, but I was scared of getting lost. I have to wait for Tom to come. Is this the right way, Tom? No, not really.
There's something wrong with the markings, right? That you got lost.
Well, since then the markings have been much improved.
Don, I saw your hand going up.
Yeah, so actually this is what Andrew, in 2006, a bunch of us went to Mount Whitney, and I, like a dummy, didn't drink enough and got in trouble on the way down, and without a doubt, I'm not kidding, Andrew is the one who saved my life and got me down that mountain.
Yeah, it's never a problem with Australians drinking enough.
That's why I picked him to go with.
I'll go. So I think the first time and it wasn't really we were running, you were race walking, and we went all the way up, I think it was through Huddart, and then we had to find the way across and down through Flagler. I still remember that. The race walking, she was even faster than most of the runners. And I don't know how long, I mean, was that when you first got here? I can't remember, because you didn't run then. You were only...
Yeah, that was probably about the turn of the century.
Wow. You're that old, huh?
Can I tell the story about how Penny got involved in running? Am I allowed to tell about the first marathon that you did up in Alaska?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. We were away, our families, I've known Penny for a long time before she started running, and at the time Andrew had just been diagnosed with leukemia, and we were away up in Arnold with both our families, both young families, having Thanksgiving, I think it was. And the men had gone off doing something, they'd taken the kids off to the snow, I think, and Penny and I went to a craft fair, and Penny said to me, "Oh, we're going to do a marathon." And I just looked at her and said, "You're joking." And she said, no, we're going to walk a marathon with Team in Training. So she got both of us involved in Team in Training, and we went up to Alaska, and that was basically, I think, your first marathon.
It was, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
so then she got Dennis involved, and I think you and Dennis and Robin got involved with Stevens Creek Striders, and from then, as they say, it's history. So that was sort of the beginning of the whole thing.
Yeah, it's your fault.
You got my husband into this and
Well, I was lucky we did join the Striders, because the first we saw you guys at Hobie's running club, and then we turned up one Saturday, and we turned up early. We thought it was 8 o'clock, but it was really 8:30. And the first guy that came along, Robin talked a lot, and he'd get out and say, "Oh, you run?" And this guy said, "Yeah. You run marathons?" Yeah. So, what's your time? You know, this is a guy thing too. Ooh, 2:43. I said, "I'm out of here." That's not my club. We happened to, yes, you know who we ran into? Jean Palmier.
There he is.
Although you did 4 hours something.
Yeah, I was only twice. I got to half the marathon by the time John had finished.
Walking it. You did it in just over
That's
4
right,
hours.
John. I was walking it.
So her first marathon she walked in just over 4 hours.
So was that before or after Angus?
Angus was at the finish line saying, "Mother, 4 hours, I feed every 4 hours." Where have you been? So he was being breastfed, he was little.
So I think my first experience with Penny, kind of epitomizes the characteristic of you. Was doing the quad dipsy for the first time, and I don't know how I got registered for the race. I was out here for Thanksgiving, and there was a race, and I got in. That's all I know. And the first half went awesome. I was up and over and back and felt great. And then I started going back up to cardiac, and I bombed hard, and I barely made it up to the aid station. And Jill was up there waiting, and I said, "That's it, I'm done."
I was fine with that.
And so I sat down, and they started giving me Coke and apples, and my dad said,
Aid station.
"Yeah." My dad said, "It'll get better," and I said, "I don't believe it." But I did figure that it was going downhill to Stinson, and I could always stop at Stinson. But Penny offered to run along with me, and she was running with me, and she kept saying, "Are you drinking water? Are you drinking water? Are you drinking water?" And she got me all the way down to the beach, and by the time I got down there, I was feeling a lot better.
Drinking water.
And drinking water. Make it back up to the top of the hill, and if I can do that, I can finish the race. And then she got me back up to the top of the hill, and I was like, "Who is this person? I've never met."
A trail angel.
And then Jill, you took him on, and you know it's totally illegal to have paces on the ground.
Yeah.
All you were asking me is if I was drinking water.
That's right. We were just.
Just random people.
Yes.
Penny was my first pacer in any race. Western States, first time round, 2011, whatever it was. And I had a fair amount of tummy trouble coming into Forest Hill. And I went off to find the conveniences, we call them in England.
You know how the English do.
40 minutes later, Penny came in as my pacer to pull me out of there and wake me up. I was sitting in space and said, hey, we're not going to make it at this rate. We went off along the trail, and it was the low point of the race through the night in the early hours. But Penny found the way to keep me going with a goose with caffeine in every 20 minutes. And I was at a low ebb. But I was also, my stomach problems weren't over, but I was, with the typical English discretion, wanted to be very discreet about where I relieved myself. And he was trying to convince me. It's the middle of the night, it's 2 o'clock, the only other people out there are runners. And she eventually got me through the night, and did a great job. And I can't think of a better person to have as a pacer in terms of just getting me through it, and very
Getting you to
inspirational.
drop your decks.
So, thank you, Penny, for everything you've taught us.
Oh, that was a lot of fun. I tell you, pacing's the way to go. Let them suffer and you have a fun. Yeah.
But there are opportunities for the Western States ahead of you.
Yeah, I believe Hans has something for me.
You're qualified.
No. I have 2 words. Grass skirts. I love your spirit. When, you know, with Western States just blows me away. I until I met Eric, I had no idea that people could run, 100 miles. Just no idea. And then to see you at every single race with your skirt on and you're pacing always, and you're always working behind the table. You're with the runners, you're cheering them on, and observing you from a distance is just a treat. You're inspiring. And I've been blessed to know you. So.
Thank you, Jill.
The dog wants to say something to me.
All right.
I gotta say something. So for me, my experience was the Run for Alma. Year 2. Year 1 was kind of the precursor to actually doing it with other people, because I did it alone the first year. And then in that year, I had no experience race directing, witnessing race direction, or anything. And it was like, oh, Penny, do you think that you can help me? And it was like with rolling aid, but also with the pacing, in terms of just hopping on the trail and just running along and just encouraging me. And I don't know if you remember, but we were with Kim, and we were coming up, we were doing the skyline to the sea, but in reverse. I don't know what came over me, but it seemed like a really interesting line to go from the beach to Sunnyvale. Little did I know that there's a lot of uphill involved, but it makes it more fun. And you were there with me, I forget, must have been between 23 and 25 miles, and it was just like, I didn't think that it would ever end in terms of the uphill. And you were just like, you can do it, just keep going. And it was amazing. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you were incredible. I couldn't keep up with you even though you'd done the first 25. But yeah, that was great.
It takes a lot of encouragement.
And I hope it continues. That's a great effort Run for Alma.
It will.
And a nice thing for the club to get involved in.
Thank you so much.
I have a license plate that says on belay. It's a climbing term that means that your partner is safe. And safety has always been a really strong concern with Penny. A lot of you have been talking about her time as a pacer, but did you know that she also works as a safety crew patrol for Western States for the last 2 years? And that's a big part of why she won her award this year, Friend of the Trail Award. That was very well deserved. She's always been very supportive of the club members and especially her family, and I'm very proud of her in that regard. She's set an example for many to follow.
You can take over from me.
There you go. So I don't have too many running stories with Penny because unfortunately she would always run away from me. But I do remember the year that I finished Western States, coming in the last chance and seeing you and seeing all those people. It just really was a high point of the race for me. I really was overjoyed to be there. You were so helpful. And you know, time and time again, through all thick and thin, all kinds of episodes and incidents, you've always been there, you've always been upbeat, and I really appreciate that, you know, and your indomitable spirit, and I'll never forget you, ever.
You see.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Speak or forever hold your peace. Oh, no, that's not wedding. Right?
I'm holding my breath, having two bands come in.
Well, I can say one more kind thing. From a completely non-running perspective, what an incredible mother she must be. Because we were blessed to have Lizzie as a babysitter for several years. And unfortunately, Lizzie went off to Australia, and we lost her, and our kids were devastated. And we loved having her as a babysitter, but to see Lizzie and how she was with our children tells me how you must have been with them. And they were extremely lucky, and they're incredible children.
All right, going once, going twice.
Once for me.
What did I do?
No. In fact, this is good. Several years ago, after I was diagnosed with a potential prostate cancer, and it went very easy for me. But during that time, or slightly thereafter, after the diagnosis, Penny did it was one of those track runs. I can't remember what it was. And you know, she put my name on the list of cancer survivors when, you know, it seemed kind of pretty incidental to me up until that point. And so, you know, I really appreciate that you did that for me. And that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Okay, I just want to say it's been a blessing knowing Penny. She's been fantastic in everything that she does and she does for other people. And she's paced me in many races, and she's helped watch over my husband and my family, and she's just truly a godsend. And I can't believe the patience she has. She's got the patience of Job. She's an angel. It's a pleasure knowing her.
I want to take you with me.
And Penny is a fellow team and training teammate. Christina and Penny and I have done events together, really special. When I first met you, Penny, I was going through a real rough life transition, a divorce. And Penny just kind of picked me up, and she said, come on, try this ultra stuff. I had done a race with Tom, Eric's dad, as my first ultra at American River years before, and just hadn't stuck with it. And then Penny said she sensed the need for me to keep moving forward, get out, have something that I could goal on, and you picked me up. And you, Dennis, and I think Robin at the time, and got me back into the ultras, and that was what I needed at that time in my life. And after that, Penny kind of started looping me into other things, which I'm grateful for. She said, well, Peg, how about this team and training stuff, which you had done beautifully in Andrew's honor for many years. And what did we do? First, we did the Rome Marathon. A lot of fun. A little side note here, we're over in Rome. 80% of the race are men and 20% women. It's about 10,000 people.
Highly recommend it, ladies.
Penny knew this, I'm sure, before we chose this race. But after the race, Penny she strategized well. And I love this great comical memory. She has me go into the great big 18-wheeler truck trailer to get our drop bags back, when she knows darn well there is a show unfolding out there, because there's no modesty with these guys. This clothes come off.
Those Europeans,
Yeah. I was in the trailer for an hour waiting, and Penny just kind of kicked back and joined in.
I know where to look.
She knew. I think the next team of training we did was up in Tahoe. She said, Peg, let's try something different. Let's do a bike ride, 100-mile bike ride. And just great to train with her, got me biking. The next thing Penny got me into, it was great. She said, well, Peg, how about something a little different? How about a triathlon? Me and Eve say, that sounds great. Okay, I can't swim for anything, but what the heck, I'll learn. Little did I know it was for an Ironman. A little enchilada, not a little sprint, not a little half. But the Ironman, I sat at the informational meeting and said, "What have you not been to?" But we both learned to swim.
And Christina too. She
Yeah.
did.
Christina
Yeah.
as well,
And
the three
Pat,
of
we
us.
all,
Patty.
actually Pat knew what she was getting into, so she has no excuse.
Patty had done Ironmans. So looped me into that one, and then our last one was Chicago, which was a great pleasure to do with you, Penny, as the last American team in training. Hopefully in Australia one day they'll have that there too. Hard
But
to
you
say
didn't
goodbye.
have to triple now.
I know.
Hard to say goodbye, and maybe not so much a goodbye, but a see you later. And everything everybody said, you're kind of the wind beneath other people's wings.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, see you later. Because it feels like I'm leaving my family to go to my family. Because it's been 17 years, and I realise that when I go back, I'm starting again. And I have my little nuclear family, but this has been my family, and just wonderful experiences for 17 years. And you know, Andrew and I, the best years of our lives, I think, really, were the last 17 years here. So it's not really how we planned to go back, and so we'll make the best of it. But you know, every single person here contributed to that fact that it really was the best years of our lives. And I can't thank you enough for being so generous to all of my family, to Andrew and I and the kids, and all the fun experiences, and what wonderful inspiration everybody is. When I came here, I didn't know that, you know, that I could do a marathon. I thought that was like different genetics, you know. I don't sure of it. And so, you know, America's great for that. They allow people to believe that you can have a go. So, thank you all, and thank you for those memories. And
Well, thank you
many
for the
more.
memories too, Penny.
And please do come and visit me, because I'm going to miss you guys so much.
Well, do you want to get like another marathon? We'll just meet you at the marathon.
I'm planning. Yeah, I am planning. You all must come and do the Stevens Creek Striders Melbourne.
All right.
Melbourne Ultras. Yeah. And thank you, Usha and Mike, for
Yes.
letting us use your house, and for tonight. It was very gracious host, and Peggy for arranging it, and everybody for coming and sharing it with us tonight.
Lots of love.
We're not done yet.
Yeah. I'm not done?
No,
I've
we're
still
not.
got,
I said
I've still
we're-
got to get my Western
We're not
accent.
done yet.
I don't know how he's going to do it. I'm not qualified.
Still have to listen to the boring speech from the president, which is me. So I have the pleasure of having the last word. Like Steve, I never got an opportunity to run with you because you were way too fast. But I did get to spend a lot of time with you as as a board member, as a fellow board member, and
You loved every minute.
You were the secretary of the board, and so first I was the newsletter editor, and then the second year I guess I didn't step back fast enough, so maybe the president. And I think doing that actually, I just realized that you learned a very important skill during those 2 years that we spent together on the board. Do you remember what it was?
No. Has it got anything to do with spelling weird names?
Yes. Very good.
You think I've learned?
I think the last time it actually worked out. So yeah, you were able to spell my last name. So that actually was a very good thing. So it was a pleasure serving with you on the board, and sorry to see you go, because now we have to have a different secretary.
Me,
That's okay, I stepped here. That's all good. So the board got together and said, okay, what can we, give, Peggy, no Penny? How much? I wasn't going to make that mistake again, but by you leaving, you're just going to solve that problem anyway. We decided what to give you, and we realized that we've got a new house to move into when you get back there. And it's probably going to be a little bit empty, so we decided to get you a bunch of furniture to take with you. But then, it's like, okay, it's a little impractical. So instead, we gave you this thing. which is a gift certificate for IKEA, as they call it around here. And we checked, apparently they have one over there in Melbourne, so who knows, so I guess things have changed over there as well. For the better, I guess.
Well, I'll take the buggy and put on the horse and
We still have to assemble everything.
Yeah, it's all together, so if you need any help, you can just ask Randy, he offered his help. So, well, we hope to see you again. I mean, I hope this is not really a goodbye, but it's just, until we see you again.
it's just another excuse for a party. We have the welcome back ones.
So, and if you do qualify next year for the Western States, I'm sure we can get you a ticket to actually run the thing this time.
Oh, can the rest of you not qualify?
If you do qualify, well, I don't know what we can do there.
Yeah. North Face 100K, Penny.
You're not going to offer free entry to the Stevens Creek 50K?
Well, we can do that.
Okay.
Somebody will sponsor the ticket then. So I hope you have a great time there. I'm going to give you a hug before you leave.
So bottom line, we all love you. We love you as a wife, as a mother, as a friend, as a runner. We love you as who you are.
Thank you everybody, and I'm crying.
Let's eat You go first.
All right,
My child's been waiting for all this.
I was worried he was going to say something. I was ready to get you.
Why don't you tell them to sign the
poster?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Okay,
You
welcome.
put together a wonderful photo montage, collage, which will be. Hopefully that'll give me inspiration. I'll look at it and say, all right, you've got to get moving. And I think you've got just about everybody on there.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah. Which is fun. So yeah, please sign it so I can read that too.
Penny, increased your chances of Western States moving to Australia.